Hello and welcome back to the podcast. Today's super fun. I am giving you a little clip of a recording that I did in my very basic starting a business group that we did for this one time. And I wanted to just cover the basics of marketing funnels. It's so interesting because the word marketing funnel is thrown around so often. And I feel like it was a while into my business journey before I understood that a funnel had multiple parts and what each part was for and what type of content create in each part. So I wanted to go over that today for those of you who are just maybe getting into this space and getting into marketing and kind of understanding that. So I hope you find it helpful. If you do, I would love tag me, share me. I want to see that you're really digesting some of this stuff. And as we dig into some of your tactical business side today, I can't wait to see if you love this type of episode. So let's get started. How enlightened were you guys by my brother, the accountant? I was like, phew. He just was laughing so hard. He was like, I really wanted to see you give that presentation with everything in me. See you try to fumble over sole proprietor and LLC. I can't even say sole proprietor. It was, yes, I'm glad you guys loved it too. I thought he did make it sound so easy. Did anyone get their set up? Come on, someone have had a win. You did it! You did it! Yes! Yes, I'm so proud of you. Wait, multiple of you guys did it. That makes me so happy. That is epic. Good job, good win. Drop in the chat how easy or hard it was. Like if you were able to do it yourself, drop it in there, inspire all the other girls, like we can do it, we can do it. I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win. So epic, so epic. Well, today we're going to now kind of segue into our marketing segment of how we're actually going to market these bad boys, how we're going to market these businesses. And we're going to dive into the psychology of our buyers and really dig into what that really looks like for them. Because what we think is like, oh, we'll just pop something up, people will see it, and then they will buy it. And that's not how the human brain works. The human brain's been around for 2,000 years, and all of our motivations are all the same. The core, how we make decisions, why we make decisions, that is not new. That is old and can be applied to absolutely every single thing that you're selling. The human brain doesn't change, and it really hasn't much. I mean, it probably has. I mean, evolution. It's changed in 2,000 years, but you get it. Our primitive brain is still in there. So how do we take these people from knowing our products exist all the way through buying? Raise your hand if you have heard of the word funnel before. Awesome. Most of you guys have heard what the word funnel before is and how we're going to unlock it in our businesses today. Todd, hit me with my picture-in-picture, will you? What we really want to understand is that funnels are fun. Most of us are going to be starting with our organic funnel. So an organic funnel means things that you are doing organically and for free. That's like your Reels content, that's your Instagram content, maybe it's your Facebook posts, your LinkedIn. This is the organic that we do that doesn't cost us anything and that's organically made in our lives and is free to push out to people. That's where most of us are starting. But I want you to be thinking forward, thinking of how could this actually look for you when we go into paid, because that's when you get to throw gasoline on the fire. When your funnel is working, then you can put a little money behind it and it just can make more. And that makes it so you don't have to do all the work yourself. So I want you to know that that's possible, that you're not going to be doing organic content for the rest of your life until you die. You're going to bring in some paid, you're going to bring in some affiliates, you're going to have other people helping you grow your funnel. But before we do that, we have to understand how our funnel works ourselves and get that really growing. And then it's time to go to paid. I often hear people be like, can I just bring in affiliates and can I just have other people do this? You've got to understand your business first, and it has to be working first. So what we're going through in this container is we're just after our first 5 customers, right? We aren't getting too crazy with it here. We're after our first 5. So I want you to make a list of where your first 5 customers are hanging out. Maybe you already know who they are. Maybe you know their names. First 5 customers who you know for a fact need your product, service, good. Make the list. And drop in the chat where maybe the biggest majority of them, like where are they spending their time? Maybe they're not on Instagram. Maybe these are women that you know from the PTO. Maybe these are people you meet at chambers of commerce events. Maybe LinkedIn. Yes, awesome. Maybe they're hanging out on YouTube. Maybe you don't know. And then we got to go back to that ideal customer exercise and figure out where are they hanging out. Most of my people were on Instagram. That's where we all met. Thank you, Instagram, for being my places. Awesome. Sala says women running from thing to thing, also on social media after bedtime. Awesome. Maybe your people are on podcasts. And if you do not know that answer where they're hanging out, ask them. Like, where are you spending your time? Like, where are you buying stuff from? I'm just curious. Because we're after our first 5 customers. So once we have the list of where the first 5 are hanging out currently, then we got to go through how we are actually going to get them. So think through, what was the last thing that you guys bought online? I want you to do a little exercise for me. Think of the last thing you bought online. I bought a lavalier mic, so I don't have to wear this Britney mic when I'm like on normal Zoom calls. I feel ridiculous. I just want a cute one that hooks to my shirt. So, okay, someone bought a bra. Now I want you to think of how, first you were aware you needed a bra, right? You're aware, but how were you aware that that bra company existed? Okay, did it pop up in your feed? Did you hear a friend talk about it? Did you pass it at Target? So I want you to think of how you became aware. Everyone write these steps out with me, the last product you bought, and then write how you became aware of that product. Try to think back, dig through the archives of your mind, like when did I first hear about Third Love? When did I first hear about the bra company? Where did I first hear about the chore chart, the shoes? And then what did you do next? So you heard about that, you realized you had a need. Then did you go to their website? Did you go to their Instagram? Did you go to the Amazon reviews? Drop this in the chat too. What was your next move once you knew that this was something you were interested in buying? You went to the website. Perfect. Went to their IG, then their website. Okay, then after their website, what did you do on the website? How'd you poke around on the website? Did you look at reviews? Did you just buy straight away? Probably not. Probably looked at reviews. You looked at price. Maybe you read the little thing on the side. What did that look like for you? Read reviews. Loaded a shopping cart. Looked at the design and then impulse bought. I love that for whoever sold that. Love a good impulse buyer. Okay, did anyone weigh a different company for something that they were thinking of buying? Did they weigh the pros and cons of this or another one? And then eventually you decided to go to the purchase, which was get in your cart, get it checked out. If your checkout system isn't super smooth and it's really clanky, you might lose it then. If it's taking too long to load, you get busy, you get out of there, and you never go back. Awesome. Someone says, I definitely Googled similar companies to see price comparisons. Right. This is the same formula that every purchase, basically known to mankind, is going through the same. It can go through fast. It can be something that's done in a matter of minutes, or the same process can take weeks or even months. So our job is to figure out a way to address every single part of that system along the way and nail every part of our funnel so that we make this as easy, smooth, sexy, enjoyable as a process as we can for our people. So as you think through that purchase, realize your sticking points and where you know you're going to need help. So I want you to, as we think through where we're going to build this funnel at, please, for the love of Pete, please build where your actual strengths are. If you're like, I hate Instagram, don't you dare build there. Don't build there. You're eventually going to burn out, but you're like, but that's where all my people are. You'll find new people. Don't build in something that you hate, because that's just a recipe for hate, right? And the more joy and lit upness we have in where we build this, the better. So think through your strengths. Maybe you're really good at speaking. Maybe you're not so confident on camera. Maybe a podcast would be a good place for you. Maybe you're like, I can make graphics all day. LinkedIn might be a really good place for you. Maybe you're like, I'm actually not great at any of this social stuff, and I'm going to grow my in-person sphere as fast as I can because that is going to be my funnel. And that, you guys, is completely viable. We see everyone on Instagram, and we're like, this is the only way to grow a business. The richest people I know don't even know how to log into Instagram. This is the richest people I know. It's all made off of networking. So I don't want anyone to feel like pigeonholed into have to doing it a certain way. Do it where your strengths lie. The psychology is the same no matter where, but do it where your strengths lie. Drop in the chat where you think your strengths are. I'm excited to see where you guys are going to be building out these funnels. And then let's dive into the actual funnel portion. Oh, my whiteboard, a little less aggressively sized than my ginormous one. Please, markers, don't be dry. Please, markers, don't be dry. Please, markers, don't be dry. You never know. With 4 kids, you never know if these things are going to be dry or not. Okay, so this, you can draw this on your papers, or it's in your workbook, but I always like to, use my hands. Okay, so we have, this is our funnel. My lights just went off, and we're gonna make, this is a funnel. I used to make jam with my mom. Did anyone make jam with their mom? And they would like make jam, and then they'd pour it in the funnel, which would go in the jars, and it was so delightful. I think of my mom every time I do this. It's awesome. Okay, so there's 3, we'll break it down a little bit more in detail, but for now we're just gonna go with the 3 stages that are your funnel. So the first is the awareness stage. This is just them being aware that your company exists. This is usually they see us on social media, they hear us talking about it, they hear it on a podcast, aware that our company exists. Then we're gonna go through, this is the educate. This is when they're interested. We wanna educate them. We want them to help them weigh the pros and cons so they know more about what we do, why to do it with us. And then down here, the bottom of funnel, this is when they actually make a purchase. So, and then ideally what happens when they fall out of this funnel and they make a purchase, then they come into another funnel where they're gonna purchase from us again and again and again, and the cycle just repeats. It requires a lot of time and energy to acquire one customer. So what we want you to do is turn that one customer into repeat buyers again and again and again. Or if you're selling something high ticket, which you know I love, then you can just have them once and then it's okay if they move along and don't come back for a couple of years. But this is where this is how this funnel works. I might need to use a darker one. I don't know if this is showing up great. So let's talk through all the different ways you can add people to your funnel. Okay, so where are these eyeballs coming from? So looks like tons of us are using Instagram. That might be actually worse than the green. And kind of dry. Okay, so we have Instagram, we have Facebook, we may have Pinterest, we may have in person, maybe you're like local in a shop, or we have word of mouth. We may get crazy and have things like radio ads. My brother's business is run completely off radio ads. I'm like, what? People are still doing that? Works like bananas. Maybe you're a speaker on a stage and you tell people about it on a speaker. Maybe you run, direct mail. I love that. Anything else I haven't thought of? I love all of these. So maybe you've tried to start a business and you're like, this didn't work. It didn't work for me. Maybe look at all of these options you can try to go to get eyeballs. And until you tried every one of these in some form of combination, then you haven't really tried that hard to grow your business. Because there's 100 different ways. Okay, I wrote 12. Trade shows, that's another one. There's a bunch of different ways that you can add to your funnel. So I don't want you to get discouraged if you're like, I have to build in one way. There are all sorts of ways that you can build successfully. I promise you. So you get to pick which lane you want to start with, to drop all of these eyeballs. They're coming from all these places to come to know that our business exists, that they're just aware of us. So at this stage in everybody's business, working on the awareness, we should be, oh, thank you. Let's talk through the marketing of the awareness stage. Being aware that our brand exists. Or, for all of us, being aware that our company is about to exist. The longer it's okay, if you a common question I get is like, I don't want to just keep people in the awareness stage forever. Like, I'm not launching for like maybe 6 months, so I think I'm going to wait. The longer you can build this awareness and build out this funnel of interested, the better it's going to go. The longer your pre-launch can often be, the better it often goes for you. So you should be creating content now about your business that is coming. Now, everyone drop in the chat the word now. Now, not delaying. They should know that you are working on something juicy. They should see you working on the logos. You should be celebrating with the people on Instagram or wherever, like, I set up my LLC. This business is coming. Because every time we're going to be talking about our business, I'm sure I've told you guys this about spaghetti. The first time you talk about your business, it's like one thing of spaghetti. Pretty easy to break. You know, it's like, oh, yeah. But the more you lay down talking about your business, it's like more and more and more and more and more spaghetti until they believe in it. It's hard to break. It feels like a real thing that exists, because it is, and it's stronger. So the more you can spend time talking about your business, hyping up what you're doing, what you're building, then the more people actually believe in it, then like, oh, I just saw this pop up 3 days ago, and apparently now she has a business. Who's guilty of trying to do an offer or a business that way? Just popping it up out of nowhere and being like, what the hell? Why didn't anyone buy? Because it was your first strand of spaghetti. It was your first time. It's probably because you were hiding and it's okay and you were scared and you were nervous, and I get it. But no more. We are laying down that spaghetti time and time again. That can look as easy as Instagram stories. That can look as simple as I'm starting my email list, a couple Instagram posts. But it should be done when? Now. That a baby should be done right now. So what can this content look like? Like we said, I got my LLC ready. You know what I really like to do? I call this the Jovi model. When we launched Jovi, we brought all the people along with us. Where is this? There we go. I like to look at you. We brought all the people along with us. So we said, what's your favorite? What color do you like? Do you like this logo or that logo? I need people that are test subjects for this patch. I need positive reviews before we go to launch this patch. Would anybody be willing to try this for free? Would anybody be willing to join a focus group? And we brought people along for 90 days. It was like basically all I was talking about for 90 days. I was showing customers using it. I was showing us running around from store to store. I was showing us with the packaging. And that model is what you should be doing with every business that you are building. Someone says, should we start a separate Instagram to document the pre-launch journey? If you plan on having your business on its own Instagram, then yes. However, I'm going to say this about separate Instagrams. Unless you are using your Instagram like as a family journal that you are using all of the time, and this is like a pillar of your life, why not take those people that already know and love you and turn your personal Instagram into your business one? Because you already have people in that funnel. You already have people there that know you, like you, trust you. So I always recommend just turn your personal one into your business, because when you turn your personal one into your business, it's easier. You have people that already love you there. So you can start a new one. It's going to take longer. It's going to start from scratch. And don't be surprised if there's literally 7 people on it if you're starting a new one. And it's not going to grow very fast in this awareness stage. So I recommend, oh my gosh, someone just said, TikTok. Why didn't I write TikTok on our Instagram funnel? That's the easiest platform to grow on right now. If you're looking for the easiest, TikTok is actually the easiest. Instagram, one of the hardest, which is, I know, not fun for any of us to hear, but that's just the truth. Okay, so that's my little caveat on your personal Instagrams. So that looks like every step of the journey, coming up with a way to document it. If you have not taken my $97 Insta Story course, I think it's a worthy investment to really help you to learn how to tell the stories, to weave people into being excited about what you're offering. So this looks like content, emails. This looks like, here's the tricky one. Here's the tricky one that you guys are going to get super freaked out by. This just looks like talking about it to your friends, to your family, to your coworkers. You have to be brave enough to talk about it to everyone you know. Can you guys do that? Does that feel scarier than even putting it up on Instagram? Just talk about it. Just talk about it, talk about it, talk about it. Yes, Shayna's like, yes, that definitely sounds scarier. Talk about it because they'll be excited for you. It's just enthusiasm, right? No one's going to be mad that you're talking of starting a business. They're going to feel your enthusiasm. And they're going to be like, I want some of that. Because what we do in this awareness stage is we transfer enthusiasm. So if your business is coming out with, you're like, yay, guys, I'm launching my business. This is the first time I've ever talked about it. Please buy. They're like, okay, there wasn't a lot of enthusiasm built there. We're transferring our enthusiasm. That's all we're doing in sales. All sales is a transfer of energy. You're excited about something. They're like, oh my gosh, I want to feel excited about that too. Transfer of energy and enthusiasm. So this is the awareness stage that should be starting right in this exact moment. Got it? Who commits to just talking about it casually in their life, with their friends, with their mom, with their cousins? I'm starting a business. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. You don't have to even ask for feedback. Just talk about it. I'm going to talk about it now. Yes, I love that. Okay, then we move to the next stage of the funnel, which this is that when they go to, they are interested. Like, what's she working on over there? I'm interested in what she's doing. So when we became interested in that bra we were going to buy, we went to their website. So this is why it's important that we have things like, so what does our content look through the interested stage, through the interested part of the funnel? This is when we're educating them. This is when we have the website where we are using words to sell them. We're going to go over copy in another call. Words and pictures on websites. This is when we're having the reviews. The reviews that are posted. And people are like, ooh, I don't have a single customer. So I don't know if I have reviews. Just the review even of what it's done. Wow, I look like I write like a first grader. Reading this back, I'm like, what the? Reviews, even if you do not have a review, you do have a review because you've done it in your life. So you can use your own personal review of how this has changed your life, that story, and help them lead others to believe that it's possible for them too, or that you love it too, right? So, and if you can gather some free reviews before you launch, you can run a few friends through whatever, buy your product, service, good to get you some of those reviews on your website. That's really going to help. So I want you to make a checkbox on your homework. And I want you to just think through, how can I start gathering reviews? Because at launch, we want to come out with a couple reviews if possible. So ask yourself that question. And so what that looks like, so for my course creator girls who did that, who ran their courses in the summer, I said, give your script. Give your scripts that you're writing to your friends, to your family, have them run through it and let you know how they felt about it. It doesn't have to be delivering them this exact product that it's going to be. It can be delivering them like, I'm buying this shirt from Alibaba and I'm going to sell it. Do you like this shirt? And they write a review of like, oh my gosh, these shirts are so cute, right? It can be the minimally viable way of getting the reviews, getting that out there to them, but just making sure that we have some reviews. Someone says, how many reviews are ideal? The more you can have, the better. But I would aim for at least 3. If you can get 3 before your launch, that's going to help you go way better than no one's ever taken this. I'm the guinea pig here. So aim for a minimum of 3 would make me feel more comfortable, but the more you can get, the better. So as we're walking them through this interested stage, this is a part where we can do email marketing. I'm like now going to try to focus on not writing like such a spaz, but I don't think it's working. It does not lend well. Okay, so we're working on our email marketing here. This isn't something that you have to have, but this is something that's nice to have so that you can stay in touch with people as you're working them through all these stages. And email marketing can be as easy as MailChimp, which is free. I'm gonna write that right here, MailChimp. We'll go over email marketing kind of when we do websites, so don't get super freaked out by that yet. But knowing that this is a way that they'll consider, they'll be educated on what we're doing is a little bit more through our email marketing. So interested. So we have to keep in mind here that when we have these buyers, what they're doing in this stage, they're weighing the pros and cons. They're weighing the pros and cons. So the biggest thing in this part of the funnel is this word called objections. I want you guys to know the objections of why they would not buy your product like the back of your hand. Write in a couple of objections of why they would not buy in the chat. Objection like, oh, they don't have enough time. They don't think that it can work. Money is always, objections are usually always the same. Money, does this really work? Will this work for me? Is this, it's basically comes down to limited time, money will work for me. So you got to speak to, in your sales pages, in your Instagram content, in your podcast content, in everything, you are slyly working in these objections. Even something like, I know what you're thinking. This doesn't look perfect. I know what you're thinking. This is not going to work for you. I know what you're thinking. This shirt may look cute on the model, but may not look cute on me. That's why I've tried it on 5 different body types so that you know it looks cute on 5 different body types. Someone says for in-person events, they're feeling like they don't have a place, like they're too shy. I want you to write out every single objection you can possibly think of. This is a big part of your homework this week. Tanya, add that to their workbook also. Objections, and I want you to write out the list, and then I want you to write out how you're going to work around those objections. How are you going to work around it? Because that's content, that's websites. The worst thing you can do is ignore objections. That's what most beginning business owners do. They're just like, my product is amazing! Look at all my reviews! This is epic! And then they don't address objections anywhere. And if they don't address objections, they're not getting any sales. This is the biggest thing people miss. Objections, Your Honor. What's your list of objections? We're going to work around them every way till Sunday, every single angle, until they're like, oh yeah, okay, I see that. And we convince them otherwise. I want you to think of the last time you had an objection and how that person overcame it. An objection to buying. And then you're like, yeah, I can see how that actually makes sense. I don't want to lose money on the deal. Might as well, I got to buy it. Drop in the chat, what was the last time someone you know, you're like, oh my gosh, they subconsciously worked me through an objection there. That's exactly what happened. Car salesman, master at this. Even grocery stores are good at this. Put on things on like a sales tag. The objection of like, oh, well, this is usually expensive, but it's on sale, so I think I can afford it right now. So walk through all the objections. Yep, all of this is content. The worst thing I hear people say is like, I just don't know what to post about my product. I'm like, oh, sister, then you don't know your objections that good. Because there's about 9 million pieces of content that can work just in the objection section. That's awesome. I convinced you too. Awesome. I convinced you guys. Well, I worked you past your objections. Yay! Yay! Yay, yay, yay. I knew that time was a big one for you guys. I'm like, will this actually work? I worked you through, will this actually work? I'm going to be with you 2 times a week. You're not going to get more support than this type of deal. So these are a huge part of that middle part of the funnel, the most often missed part. They go from most people, what they hope happen. Most people, most businesses, they hope and they think that it's going to go from aware to buy, skipping this whole middle section. This does not work for literally anyone's brain. This does not work. This is the most important thing to help people actually move through to purchase. Or the other thing I see people do is start an Instagram
and then they're funneling people to nowhere. They have no offers. They have nothing. They're just like growing a following to grow a following. Even if you don't have your offer up and you don't plan on having your offer up for like 6 months, please, for the love, have them aware and at least going into like a landing page where they can get on your list to know that when it's coming. We'll go over that in the website section, but promise yourself, put your hand on your heart right now. Say like, I will not funnel these people to nowhere. I will not funnel these people to nowhere. I will catch everyone I can. Okay, you promised yourself. Making this funnel work for you. Okay. Any questions on objections? Just drop them in the chat. Drop them in the chat if you have any questions on what we've covered so far in the middle part of the funnel or the top. Okay, the next part that is important to know is they are going to compare, likely, they are going to compare competition. So with my Facebook ads team yesterday, we just had to go through like 10 different websites of our competition that people would likely, before they bought something high ticket, who else would they go see that's teaching this? So this comes back to the market research piece of knowing like where else are people, what else could they do to solve this problem? And so you're going to go do your market research, because just like you are doing, your buyer's doing that, you got to beat your buyer to the punch so that you can speak to them. So say you're like, oh, I know that sister down the street is doing this for $75 cheaper. So you're going to speak to an objection of that straight competition and say, I know you can get this cheaper. However, the quality is da-da-da-da. You can get this cheaper, but this one's more high touch. You can get this cheaper, but this one's faster. People will pay for time, always. They always pay for time. They will pay for quality. They will pay for an experience. So think through what your compared the competition is doing, because they're weighing the pros and cons. And the next thing when you're doing the objections is make sure that you make a pros and cons list of buying. Because if you know your cons, you know the objections, now you got to know the pros. We are selling the hopefulness. If we want to sell the hope of what this brings in, the high energy of the destination. The high energy of like, this is what it can be like when. Paint the picture of when they buy the shirt, they're going to be the coolest chick walking into the play date. When they buy the shirt, they're going to be more confident. When they buy it, it's going to make their waist look so good. When they buy it, they're going to feel that dopamine hit. And how would you do that? How would you make them feel this hopefulness? Words are our way to do this. Words are energy. Words on websites, words on our Instagram stories, words out of our mouth. Painting the destination and as juicy as like, could you imagine if you in 1 year you weren't going to an office, you were doing work that lit you up, where you were at home with your kiddos, were able to take them to the soccer practice. Does that sound familiar? That's on my sales site. You want to paint, like this is what it could be like. And they start to feel that belief of like, okay, this is what I want. This is what I want. This belief, this exciting outcome and destination. That's what we want. I so often see, and this absolutely devastates me, is I just see products listed on a page. They don't even have, they have descriptions and they're like small or like stainless steel scissors. I'm like, instead of saying stainless steel scissors, say like, can you imagine the heirloom scissors that you pass down to your granddaughter as she cuts the baby quilt for her baby that you cut for her? All of a sudden, stainless steel scissors go from like, I can buy those at Joann's to like, they have to have these scissors. This is heirloom product. How did that happen? Words, emotion, paint the destination. Where are these scissors gonna take you? Is this making sense? Who wants some heirloom scissors right now? Just kidding. Words, emotion, energy. It's all a transfer of it. And we do that through our words. We do that through our hype. We do that through painting the destination of where we want them to go, making them believe we can go there together. Destination, paint it. Paint it and make it juicy. Tanya, add this to their worksheets this week as well. Paint it and make it juicy. What's their life going to be like when they own that shirt? What's their life going to be like when their closet cleans? What's their life going to be like when they have that financial death planning one of you gals is doing? How is that going to feel, that relief that washes over them? That's what you're selling. That feeling is what you're selling. So I want you to get intimately acquainted with what that feeling looks like, sounds like, acts like, breathes like, because that's what we're selling. Got it? Okay, epic. Let's move along. Then they're going through all this. They're like, oh my gosh, I have to have this. Now it's time for them to actually buy. Amazing. There's a bunch of different ways that people can buy from you, and we're going to go over some of this in websites. But for our first 5 customers, what you can do is as simple as you can sell it in the DMs. You can literally walk it through. You can do voice messages, and you can send a quick link to like sign up, because we're after our first 5 customers here. So this can be as easy as hard as going through the website, as easy as like DMs, phone conversations, phone calls. Making it easy for them so they don't have to jump through 50 hoops to buy from you, because you're going to lose them if it gets too annoying or too hard. So easy peasy. We'll go over that when we go over some of the website stuff. Okay, that's our funnel, my friends. That is the whole, how every piece of the funnel works. And then what happens when they buy at the bottom of the funnel? We're not just like, peace, see you never. The second they buy, we're already thinking like, okay, how am I going to get them to buy again and again and again? Turning one customer we talked about, turning one customer that buys a shirt, a $35 shirt, into a lifetime value of $5,000 because they're buying from you so often. We're after the customers again and again and again and again. So that's how you have a sustainable business, is you use the same customers again and again. Curious, has anyone bought anything else from me ever before? Awesome. Thank you for proving the point. Lifetime value of a customer. You just figure out a new way to serve them. Oh, I think they need this. Oh, it sounds fun to offer them this. Oh, I think they would love this. Oh, let's add pants onto the order. Just serve the same people because you're going through all the trouble to acquire them. Okay. So Jen says, how do you get over shyness when making a video? I record and then delete it. Do you have Marco Polo, Jen? Do you have any friends that it can be on the end of Marco Polo for you? The best way for you to get in the habit of storying is literally just Marco Polo your friends all the time. And then you're going to get comfortable talking while you're looking at yourself. And it is literally the same exact thing as making stories. Just get comfortable seeing your face, talking normal, talking in your normal voice, just like you are a friend. So that's my greatest tip for overcoming that shyness it's just reps. It's just reps. And of course, you're going to be awkward at it your first time. And then you're going to keep going and getting better and better and better and better and better. The thing that makes me a genius at Insta Stories is I've been doing them since the day they came out, every single MFing day almost. I have a lot of reps at looking at myself, making myself normal, making myself look authentic. It's just reps. So you can do it. You can do it. And if it feels too awkward to start on stories, just start on Marco Polo. Okay, boom. Buying, we're the repeat buying. Okay? Oh, and then how do we help them? How do we help them buy? My favorite word of all time in sales. My favorite word, if you can read my writing. Scarcity. Scarcity. This is really hard to see. Scarcity. There's only 5 of these. This offer closes in 2 hours. This offer closes in 3 days. This offer closes. This is a limited amount. Because how the human brain works, like we talked about, 2,000-year-old brain, we're like, oh, yeah, I'll get around to buying that. We never do, unless there is scarcity and urgency baked into our offer. So something like the price will be going up in 2 weeks. So let me know if you want to get in on it this time or the next round. Totally cool with me either way, but the price is going to be higher. I only have XYZ amount of seats. Sales, this is how it does in products. That's how they do sales. They do like Labor Day weekend sales. You're only going to get this price for this amount of times. This is what Jovi's sales look like this. They look like na 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 sale, na 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 sale, na 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 sale. I mean, they probably look like more like that. But that's because our human brains, they want that urgency. We need that baked in, that reason for them to purchase then. What's our other favorite word? Now. Now. Need them to purchase now. So bake in the urgency, the scarcity. Does anyone have questions about how to make urgency or scarcity work in their business? Because it is such a big one. 50% of buyers are buying last minute. So if we never give them a last minute, you're missing out on 50% of your buyers. I'll wait for any questions. If you're talking products, how often do you throw the sale around? I mean, you don't want to be that company where everything's always on sale. So I would look at a promotional sales calendar and see what makes sense for you. So is that Labor Day? Is that a summer sale? Is that a Black Friday sale? You don't want to be running sales every month, you know. You can do like a secret sale maybe to your VIP customers that they get, but I would go with just your typical sales promotional calendar when other people are selling, or make your own. Christmas in July, stuff like that. At Jovi, we push our anniversary sale is a really big one. That doesn't follow a promotional calendar, but that follows our own. So you can think through there's so many promotional calendars out there. You can just check what they do. Someone says, would you include join our email list and get 10% off? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. There's little pop icons that come up on your thing. Yeah, that's cool. Heidi says, I love that companies have an Amazon sale to compete with the Amazon Deals Week. 100%. That's genius. I love that. Shayna, I love that you showed up on your stories just messy and real and authentic, and people are like, oh, there she is. There's that normal girl. That's who I thought I was. That's who I think I am. So relatable. We totally overthink it. I could get up here in my pajamas and you guys would love me just as much as if I got up here in my butterfly shirt, right? You might be like, oh, what's going on with her? But you'd still love my content. So yes, don't overthink it. Okay, scarcity. Write that word in the chat. I don't want anyone to forget it. It's going to be our driver of sales, painting the picture, and then offering scarcity. Scarcity, 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 scarcity. Limited time, limited availability. Intent and scarcity drives how fast they work through the funnel. If you are not, scarcity is what drops them down here faster. Boom, boom, boom. Scarcity, 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 scarcity. You'll see on a webinar that I have coming up that I'm going to walk you through this entire funnel from cold to not even knowing me to purchasing something super high ticket because of how I masterfully am going to move everyone through objections and into the scarcity of well, shiz, I have to buy now. This is just sales. And when you're going to get better and better and better and better at it, and you're going to start to notice what other people are doing. You're like, I see there. I see what she's doing there. I see what that sale is doing there. It's going to be awesome. It's going to blow your minds what everyone does now that you're aware of oh, that's the part of her funnel I'm in. Okay. So, okay, babe, I think I'm done with my notepads. I think I'm done. Amy says, how do you get over marketing to your actual friends in the start? Honestly, you can have a real conversation with them. Guys, I feel kind of cringe, but I'm selling this. And I just want you to know, I don't want you to buy, but I need you to know that I'm doing this. I'm actually really excited about it. Just like it's the exact same thing as dealing with their objections before. Kim, you're going to think I'm cringe. So just go say, Kim, I know you think I'm cringe, but I'm selling this. Instead of just I kind of hope they don't see it, and I don't really want them to, and this is embarrassing. Just face it head on. It's going to feel so much better, and you know what they're going to do? If they're a good friend, they're going to be like, hell yeah, you are, let's go. I'd love to buy it. Or I know someone who would. Or let me help you through that. Okay. Keep the questions coming. They're super, super good. Okay, the transactions taking place. Okay, we worked through that. Now we do have time. Yes, Shayna says your friends can at least be your social media hype people. 100%. You know what's going to also happen to some of your friends, and I'm just going to make you warn you all about this. They're going to be super triggered. They're going to see you doing something that they wish they could do, but they're not brave enough, so they will not comment. They will not reply. They will act like you are not doing it, and that is straight up out of jealousy and nothing else. So the more silent the friends are, it's like, oh yeah, I'm triggering you. I'm just activating something in you. That's kind of funny. Don't make it about you. That's 100% about them. I see you nodding your heads. You get it. You get it. We've all been there being like, damn, wish I was brave enough to do that, but I'm not, so I'm not going to say anything. It's subconscious, but it's actually happening. Okay, so okay, this is awesome. Heidi's like, I texted 3 of my friends to ask them to enter my giveaway to build momentum on my Instagram. That's awesome. That's awesome. How would you set up a pre-launch email list funnel on social media? Selling pickleball paddles, that's amazing. Well, do you have a website first? I would just make sure that like you have super cool social media content that they're always like clicking to get on this. Just click on the email list of like, it's coming, you're going to get 10% off. You're going to get to see sneak peeks of it. The first 20 people on the email list get a free pickleball bundle or something like that. Oh my gosh, but pickleball paddles, that's actually so cute and amazing. That's seriously amazing. I hope that they like actually work. Of course, they're going to actually work, right? I have had some of those like wood ones. That are like splintery. Granted, my mom got them from Walmart, so I'm assuming yours are going to be way cooler. Okay, let's see here. If you guys are things like hashtags to help for building the organic awareness on Instagram, or is it just push the crap out of Reels? There is SEO now. There is Instagram SEO that you can bake into when you go to like, you add your Reels and then it's like add description. Make sure that you can put in the Instagram SEO. That is actually more helpful than hashtags. You can still do a couple of hashtags, but that Instagram SEO is great. A couple people that are just really good on Instagram, there is Brock Johnson 11. He's like your like Reels thing. SEO, good question, is search engine optimization. So Instagram is trying to go more like a platform where people can search. So another thing on this topic is what's super great for your Instagram bio. If you say you're like, I am a financial coach, I am a boutique owner, I am a housekeeper, I am a blah, blah, blah. Write your name, Suzy Holman - business coach. That way when people are typing in like, I need a business coach, your name is going to come up because that's super killer Google, Instagram SEO. So search engine optimization. Your website has search engine optimization. Your Pinterest will have search engine optimization. Your all for Google. We'll go a little bit more nitty gritty on that in the website part. Oh, this is a good one. And Kenzie, our heart just goes out to you. She said, my friend just passed away and I'm feeling super frozen. How do you get out of a funk and back into doing the dang thing? Oh, first of all, we just send you literally so much love and light. And just to promise you guys that what is meant for you cannot miss you. And that there is usually no point in trying to force our way through things that we can't. That like what is meant for you will come in the right timing when it feels aligned, when it feels good. And if you feel like you're just pushing, and it's not really feeling good, then it's okay to let yourself take some time, take some pedal off the gas, knowing that like time's not even real anyways. So I got on a phone call with I got on a podcast interview the other day. I showed up to this podcast interview and she's like, hey, we get started. And she's like, I just need to let you know that my mom's in the hospital and so I'm not on my best game today. And I was like, we are getting off this call immediately. And she's like, well, I listened to Amy Porterfield and she said that her mother-in-law just died and she still showed up to this event and I figured I should just push through. This masculine world that we're living in tells us to just push through. They tell us to just get over it. They tell us to just keep going. They tell us to post 5 times a day. They tell us to go harder, work weekends, work Saturdays. The feminine way, we're 1,000,000,000% more powerful when we do it our way. Our way is in flow. Our way is in seasons. Our way is honoring our emotions. Our way is honoring our moons, our periods, our bodies. It doesn't look like the masculine tactics out there. It can't. And if it does, It's not going to be fun. You're going to have an unhappy journey, and you can't have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. So let yourself honor where you are, knowing that whatever is coming for you is not going to miss you in the perfect time for you. Don't feel the masculine need to just push. This goes for all of us, right? This goes for all of us of like push. There is like push yourself out of your comfort zone. And then there's like pushing yourself to this point of like, this is horrible and actually feeling toxic. And it's up to you to decide like at what point you guys are. Yeah, Kenzie, just give yourself time. Give yourself time. Let yourself flow with life. Sometimes it just throws wrenches in and we just take some time. Everything is still going to come for you at the exact right time it's supposed to, even if you take time, especially if you take time. I think you guys know, when we first started this, I was super sick. You're like, remember, you're not supposed to push through. I was doable sick, okay? I could still function. But I rested, and in the rest, I was just getting download after download after download. I was like, whoa, body, mind, spirit, soul. You just needed me to rest. You need me to create a little space. So even your rest, you guys, is super productive. So thank you, Kenzie, for letting us send our love to you, our heart to you, and for bringing that up for us. Does anybody have a question that they want to ask on Zoom, like something that's more complex than a chat? If so, Todd, are you around? Just raise your hand and Todd will potentially. Todd will put that up. And then if not, just keep dropping them in the chat. We have just a few more minutes together. We want to be as helpful as we can, working through our funnels, working through where you guys might be stuck mentally, being honest. Like if you can be honest, like where are you stuck? And let me see if I can help move some of that stuck energy from out. Because stuck energy is normal. That's good. Usually when it's something like it's a big emotion, something big coming for us, that's awesome. If we don't just stuff it and ignore it, because it's like, I'm wanting to move through. Okay, Amy says, do you have any practical ideas for unsticking imposter syndrome? It gets me big time. Yes. My greatest thing for imposter syndrome. You know, has anyone ever seen Catch Me If You Can? Leonardo DiCaprio movie. He is this guy, and he's like impersonating a pilot. He's impersonating a professor, and he's impersonating a doctor at one point. This is real. He really did this in real life. He would walk onto a plane in a pilot outfit and command so much like respect just by how he was carrying himself. They're like, oh yeah, must be a pilot. Must have missed the memo. Yeah, let's get him in the cockpit. Oh, that's a teacher. How was he able to do that and fool so many people across so many industries? He just embodied that person. Was he really the professor? Was he really the medical doctor? No. But it's almost like for a minute, if you can let yourself play with like, I'm going to pretend that I am this completely new character right now. I'm going to actually be the badass that I want to be. I'm going to dress like her. I'm going to talk like her. I'm going to show up on Insta stories like there are a million people watching. And people are going to be like, whoa, where's all this confidence coming from? I usually don't love the term fake it till you make it, but I actually have found that in faking it, you make it a lot faster. Embodiment. It's all about embodying. Put on the body of that person you want to become. And another thing I do to get over imposter syndrome is realize I'm further along than the people I'm trying to serve. They don't need freaking Tony Robbins up here. They just need someone that's a couple steps ahead of them that cares about them to do the thing they want them to do. They just need someone who sees the style that they care about. So you don't have to be this big person to make a big giant change, because you are going to make the change that you are meant to make in the world, unless you keep yourself stuck. Okay, yes, yeah. I'll answer one more question. I'll bring Heidi up. Tacey says, I have like 5 ideas of what to do, but I can't pick just one to start. I don't know which one I'd be able to stick with and not get bored by or give up by. Your job, you are not going to know the answer to any of those questions unless you just start one. It is only through our action where we get insight. I have been stewing on this idea of like, oh, I got to send my child, Archie, to another school. this one is way too academic for him, since the summer. We like enrolled in a homeschool program, and then it was like in taking that action, I realized that's not good for me. Yesterday I went to tour another one that I thought was going to be good. It wasn't until I got there that I realized that's not going to be good for me. You have to move yourself in one of the directions. Literally no more thinking. Today, you're going to pick one and try it, and then you're going to give yourself permission to walk that decision back. I might be walking my podcast back. I'm like, ooh, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if like actually recording this consistently is working for me. I don't know if this is going to be something I can keep up with. That thing came out in August, and I'm already like, yeah, wasn't for me. And that's okay, because the quicker you can actually get through this knowledge, the quicker you get to move on to your life, move on to success, move on to what is really meant for you. So your job is to just pick one and go today. What's our word? Now. What's our word? Now. Now. And give yourself grace to walk that shit back all day. It's no one else's life. Who cares if you look stupid? Who cares if the podcast has only been out 6 weeks? Walk it back. Do what feels good for you. Because when you're doing what really feels good for you, what do? We transfer enthusiasm to other people. And they're like, I want that. I want that. Okay, thought I wanted a podcast. No, actually, I wanted that new thing. Cool, I'm on board. Okay? Pick, go. Okay, Todd, you good? Pull her up. He's like, Caitlin says, I want to start a retreat. I can definitely see ways I can talk about it and build hype, but how can I break it down into smaller pieces to start getting customers and testing the product? Caitlin, I would do like a minimally viable product retreat where it's like not as big and as fancy and as epic as you want to go, but it gets 5 people in the room. Shoot for 5 people in the room. That is a minimally viable retreat that you can try someplace local and try it. You can even do it in your house to start testing the model. Okay, now Todd, now we're good to go. Now pull her up. No? Okay, he's trying. Sometimes this thing is too complicated for our own goods. Okay, Heidi, we can hear you apparently, we just can't see you. Maybe.
That's okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
My question is, how do you like transition your Instagram where you said you just moved it to your business Instagram?
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of having a hard time. Like, do I organically do that? Do I create a separate page? Because I post a lot like of my family.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, should I just delete all of like the personal things that I don't want out in the world?
That's such a good question. Thank you for asking that. You have 2 options. Because you are posting regularly and like that is actually a part of your life, you can still keep that as your personal Instagram and just repeatedly call people over to like, we're doing a new one, we're doing a new one, we're doing a new one, if that feels the best for you and their kids aren't on there. I usually like to keep my kids separate from my business. It's just, they're still on there, but they're not being pimped out like they were when I was an influencer. So that makes it that I get that choice. So you can definitely start a new one. You're just going to have to repeatedly call people over there. But if you were just for those of you thinking of just transitioning your normal one over, what you got to do there is just tell people, just like we said with our friends, we're like, guys, this may be cringe, but I'm starting a business and I'm so excited. And this is what I've been working on. And this is the logos. And then it's like a slow tile by tile by tile by tile as you're getting stronger, as the business is going further along, you're having more and more content to post about that. So people are just going to be fascinated and interested in your process because we're humans. And we're curious. We're like, this is fun. This is a new journey. This is cooler than watching her kids at the pumpkin patch. Like, she's doing something big here. I can feel it. So, whichever choice you make is great for you. Okay. Oh my gosh, you guys, we're out of time. I feel like we said we were able to get through a lot today. Are you guys feeling like more clear in how this business thing actually works, how sales psychology actually works? Cool. One last question. Amy said, you said TikTok was the best place to go at the moment. How do you start learning if you're new to the TikTok world? Just go on TikTok. I feel like you can't scroll for 5 minutes without someone being like, here's how to learn TikTok. Here's how to learn TikTok. You just go find an expert and dig into their funnel, get their free content. YouTube's, like someone said, the best place to learn anything. Just go type that in there. The SEO, the search engine optimization of YouTube is the best on the market. It's the best. So This has been super fun, you guys. I'm so proud of the progress you're making. Let's go. We are in the home stretch. We're getting there. We're getting there. Businesses are going to get up. So proud of you guys. Bye. Love you guys.